J.K. Rowling returns Human Rights Award to group that denounces her trans views.
Here's a summary of the article.
J.K. Rowling is returning the Ripple of Hope Award given to her last year by the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Organization after its president, Kennedy's daughter, criticized her views on transgender issues. On receiving the award, Rowling called it one of the highest honors I've ever been given and said, "Robert Kennedy embodied everything I most admire in a human being." In early June, the author wrote a series of comments on Twitter laying out her views on gender identity, including one that said, "If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives." These comments were condemned by LGBT charities, as well as several actors who have worked in the Harry Potter franchise. Rowling then wrote a highly personal essay revealing her experience of domestic abuse and sexual assault, in which she argued that trans women who have not undergone hormone therapy or surgical transition should not have access to single-sex spaces. "Because of the very serious conflict of views between myself and RFKHR, I feel I have no option but to return the Ripple of Hope Award bestowed upon me last year," Rowling wrote. The author said she had received thousands of private emails of support from people affected by these issues, both within and without the trans community, and that she absolutely refutes the accusation that I hate trans people or wish them ill, or that standing up for the rights of women is wrong, discriminatory, or incites harm or violence to the trans community. RFKHR has stated that there is no conflict between the current radical trans rights movement and the rights of women, said Rowling.
This post received a score of 31,000, with an upvote ratio of 85%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
When auto TDLR is at the top, you know the discussion is good.
Sort by controversial and top comments are the same. That's when you know it's really good.
World News.
Come join us in r_anime_titties.
Wow, it's genuinely a diverse selection of news.
Lol, I legit just clicked and was not prepared for actual news. Open mouth smile.
Fuck man, risky click of the day. Edit, holy shit you guys, it really is full of news.
Yeah. Anime titties changes roles with world politics, like what happened with trees and marijuana enthusiasts. Basically, people realized that world politics had completely absentee mods when someone posted porn and it made it to the front page and stayed there for hours without being removed. At the same time, people kind of realized that the same was true on anime titties, so they started posting news there instead. I am not sure if the admins ever stepped in or not, but anime titties has accepted it roles as news, and world politics has turned into a meme porn shitposting self-posting sub.
Who cares? Just leave people alone. Why would anyone care about what gender people wanna be? If it's not hurting anyone, just let people be happy.
Sex. The sex parts you were born with, sexuality, who you want to be intimate with, gender, where you feel you belong on the masculine-feminine spectrum. That's all there is to it, but there are some lingering questions, like transgender, people whose sex parts don't line up with their identity gender. Transsexual, people who have an operation to change their sex parts. It's a difficult question to answer and I personally don't know. Edit. Changed, hermaphrodite, to intersex. Testosterone doping is outlawed in sports. The biological sex male adds a tremendous amount of testosterone during the most important years of physical development and through the years of prime athletic competition. It's not fair in the abstract, but testosterone is a powerful drug, and developing your body with lots of it for years generates an athletic advantage that cannot be completely erased after the person has developed, and which cannot be overcome even with lots of supplemental testosterone after developmental years, and which cannot be ignored. The division in sports between men and women is not about gender or sexuality. It exists to establish a fair competition because individuals who physically developed with large amounts of different chemicals, primarily testosterone, in their body have a very large physical advantage over those who didn't, and that advantage cannot be safely or effectively compensated for later in life. Establishing competitiveness is not the same thing as establishing fairness, and it sounds about right in light of our medical knowledge that someone who had been born male then transitioned and took up cycling in their 30s would be about as fast as people born female who had dedicated the majority of their life to competitive cycling. That's just the size of the competitive advantage of having been male for 29 years, it makes up for 15 years or so of missed training.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.